So hey, thanks once again for joining me. This is Bug Powder Dust. Now the more sharp-eyed amongst you will have noticed that, hang on, this isn't World of Tanks. Right, well, like many others is the impression I'm getting that I've actually tried out this new game called War Thunder. I think it's very much like what Wargaming would like World of Warplanes to be like. I've played the World of Warplanes beta, couldn't get into it, didn't enjoy it. I couldn't for the life of me put my finger on why. Then I saw a video by Jingles, and I think a lot of other people have seen videos by Jingles who were playing World of Tanks and decided that they too would like to get into War Thunder. War Thunder is free to play, so you can go ahead and download the client and just basically jump straight in. It's a lot of good fun, and it has a lot of nice little touches that would be really cool to have in World of Tanks, for instance. Things like the decals. You can put decals on your plane, and that's doesn't cost anything. Also other things which I'll cover as we get into the video. But what I wanted to do was just basically create just a bit of a primer for those of you who, maybe the rare few among you who haven't seen any War Thunder videos already, or have actually been playing yourselves. There's a lot of little things in War Thunder that I think are not obvious to the beginner, and certainly I didn't have a clue when I first started playing. And I've either been told or just kind of stumbled across them. So what I'd like to do is just kind of go through them, and it would hopefully help some of you to get into the game in a bit more of a smooth fashion. First of all, you see at the bottom you've got a list of planes. Now this kind of works in the same way as World of Tanks. You buy planes and then you can fly them. However, the difference is really you can take you basically take all your planes into a battle, much like Wargaming was planning on with garage battles for World of Tanks, but hasn't introduced yet. So when you go into battle, you don't just fly one plane, you fly your entire, I don't know, hangar, I suppose, of all your planes down here, as you can see. So really it's down to the amount of crews that you have as to how many planes you can take into battle with you. The more crews you have, the more planes you can take into battle. So it's not really around the amount of slots you've got down here. Well, it is, but they represent crews. But the point is that with World of Tanks, for instance, you can have 20 tanks, but you only take one tank into battle. With this, you take all your planes into battle. And you can just click on them, and you can move around. That's the Venerable Hurricane, you've got your Spitfire, awesome. And you've got five different races, I suppose. You've got the Japanese, you got the Brits you just saw, you got the Russians, you have the Germans, and you have the Americans. So the lineup is really good to start off with. You've got all the planes represented that you'd expect to see, and all the races represented that you'd expect to see. No starting half-cocked. Now the research tree, you look at it and it's fairly intuitive if you're used to World of Tanks, which if you're watching this video you probably are. Then you can see it works on the top. You start off with the reserve planes, which are effectively your tier 1 type planes. They're free, they get repaired for free after a battle, and you'll always be able to afford to get one and fly it. You can flick between the different races and you'll see that the tier ranking changes. Not the tier ranking, sorry, the research tree changes. Now what's a little bit different in War Thunder is that your player tier is not linked directly to what tier of planes you can fly. For instance, I am tier 7. Let me just get my gamer card up a minute. So you'll see that I'm level 7 and I'm that far into achieving level 8, and it works on experience, much like World of Tanks. But it's just a player level, doesn't really mean a great deal. It's these tiers here in each of the different air forces that mean that you can fly higher tiers of planes. So I'm actually tier 5 in all of the races. I've decided to go for an even split because I don't feel that one race is any better than any of the others, although there has been kind of forum posts about the Russians being overpowered. And certainly the Russian planes are a lot better, I think, for the lower tiers. You can actually buy premium premium lower tier Russian planes which have cannon. Let me just show you that, which some people are deeming to be as a little bit overpowered. I think it's the Chaika. So you see the Chaika here, the I-15 I-153P. At the bottom, if it shows you that you actually have two 20mm cannons, and you know, you might argue that that's overpowered, but you know, I mean, tier 5 is not a particularly high tier, and you can end up in lower tier games. So the tier of the plane is here. So that's 5, that's 2 for instance, and each crew that you have basically mans one of these planes. And if you hover, you see at the top, just under the title of the plane, you have fighter, attacker, which is kind of a ground attack, kind of a hybrid. Generally attackers can carry bombs and or torpedoes. Then you've got your standard full-on bombers and a couple of trees of bombers. On the right hand side, these are all premium planes that you can buy. You'll see here that the currency here, rather than gold in World of Tanks, is called Golden Eagles, and this one costs 400 Golden Eagles, as you can see. My count is there at the top, 368. You do actually get some Golden Eagles when you start the game by completing the tutorials. I can't remember how much it is, 150 I think. It's not loads, but certainly better than nothing. And this indicates that I've got a premium account. Okay, so let's talk about the cool stuff. So if you have let me just switch to the British because I like the British. Rather awesome bow fighter. So what you can do here is you can basically customize your bow fighter, and you can basically click on the paintbrush down here in the bottom left hand corner, and you can add decals onto the plane. If you're premium, you can use all 4 slots for decals, but as I'm not, well, I mean, I am premium for now, but I'm just going to use the 2. So you choose decal slot 1, and then you can basically scroll through and select a decal you can put on your plane. So if you like this one, choose it, and you can put it on your plane. Now what's nice about this is that you can actually rotate it should you want to, and you can actually make it bigger or smaller. So you can basically put it anywhere you like on the plane, put it on the side, wherever you like basically. It's actually pretty cool. Now what's nice about this is that it doesn't cost you a penny, which I think really adds to it very nicely. If you're not happy with it, you can maybe look at ally inscriptions perhaps and stick something like this on. So yeah, you can see here, oops, that's actually a bit bugged. Bear in mind it is a beta, so you are going to come across things like this which actually just are a little bit bugged, as I'm finding. They brought out a patch today, yesterday, 1.27, which has introduced a few little bugs which are interesting, but it's a beta and it's free to play, so we have to kind of put up with these things. Anyway, so you get the idea with the decals. Don't cost a penny. The other thing, while I'm on the subject of beta, what Gaijin Entertainment, who are the people who make War Thunder, have said is that they are not going to do a reset when the beta goes live. I think Wargaming did, but the difference between the two was that Wargaming didn't allow people to buy gold because you didn't need to. They actually gave you tons of gold. Whereas on this game you are free and able to buy gold from the shop, as you can see. I've got 368 left, and do you know what? It's actually not that expensive. I feel it's cheaper. And then you can activate a premium account, as you can in World of Tanks. Premium account is very much worthwhile in this game, because although you don't get penalties for losing games, it takes the pressure off winning, but it doesn't make the games any less fun because you're not trying to win, but it just reduces some of the rage, I think. So if you want a premium account, what you can do is you can buy a premium account. So 1 day is 100 eagles, 7 days is 650 eagles, etc, etc. So if you buy 1,000 eagles, I mean, I bought 1,000 eagles a couple of weeks ago, and because I've not had much chance to play any sorts of games due to real life kind of taking over, which is why I've not been bringing out many World of Tanks videos either, I'm finding 1,000 eagles has actually lasted me a very long time. I tend to buy them in 1 day chunks, and 100 eagles is nothing. I think 1,000 Eagles was about £6, £6, £7, so you can see it's really not very much at all. But you can see the advantages a premium account gives you: 200% in all game modes and 150% Lions. You also get increased money. So let me just cover that very quickly. You've got Silver Lions, that's the main currency, that's like silver in World of Tanks, and that's earned. At the lower tiers you don't tend to spend it too much. Repairing the planes is really cheap, and you can recruit crew for 50,000 Silver Lions. Now you'll see that recruit crew down here is going to cost me 200 Eagles the next time I want to buy one. So I'm kind of sticking with 5 for now. Okay, now let's talk about some other things. Your crew. Let's talk about crew. Now you can see my crew here. If I just click on a plane, this is the Beaufort, and I click on the crew. Now these are the crew skills. Now I wasn't even aware of this icon for the first couple of weeks of me playing. When you play a game in one of these planes, your crew accrues experience and points, which you can see are basically here. And then you're then free to distribute these points as you see fit. So I've put one into G tolerance, which means when you go into a tight bend, you black out, your vision goes black, and that kind of reduces that. And you've got other bits and pieces here. I'm not going to go into them in too much detail. If you have gunners on your plane, because you do have gunners, you've got tail gunners and waist gunners and all the rest of it, you can actually put points into them. So when the AI is firing for you, you can make them more accurate, precise. You can make your gunners survivability quite a lot better. You've also got ground service, so repair speed, repair rank, etc. Now in War Thunder, what I didn't realise on this either is that you have to pay for repairs. It just wasn't that obvious, because unlike World of Tanks, which has had a couple of years now to kind of get its UI right, I still think there's some things on War Thunder that really could do with being a bit more clear. For instance, if I hover over Beaufighter, you'll notice the 4th statistic down says free repairs 4. Now what that means basically is that when you buy a plane, you get a certain amount of free repairs. Every time you go into battle and your plane gets bashed up, you use one of those free repairs. Obviously it doesn't cost you anything. When your free repairs run out, that's when you have to start either paying for repairs, or the alternative is, if you don't want to pay for repairs, you can let real time elapse and it will fix. For instance, if you take a look at... oh no, I've repaired it. Damn. No, sorry, Japanese, not the Russians. Yeah, here we go. So the H6K4 bomber. Now you'll see here that the 5th one down, time to repair for free, crew included. That's 7 days, 9 hours, 25 minutes, if I don't want to pay for it. Now, if I want to pay for it to get repaired, I hover over that and it shows me it's 12,898 Silver Lions. So I could click that and it gets repaired straight away. On the lower planes, the lower tier planes, and generally not the bombers, the repair time, you'll see here, 5th one down again, time to repair for free is 22 minutes. So this kind of brings to light another point about War Thunder and World of Tanks, is that in World of Tanks, if you are playing with a tank and you die, you quit the battle, you cannot restart another game with that tank until that previous battle is finished. Not so in this one. What you can do is you can basically say I've taken out my 5 Japanese aircraft, I've died with all 5 of them, I can then quit out and I can immediately start another game with Japanese aircraft, which is pretty good. Obviously you have to pay for repairs and stuff when all the games end and it all catches up with you. But that's a nice feature. You don't have to pay for repairs. You can let real time elapse, which at the moment I'm not playing it very much. It actually suits me quite nicely. But bombers generally are a lot more expensive to repair. And as the tiers increase, let me just show you. So let's go for tier 15. You get 15,840 average repair costs, and it takes almost 2 weeks to repair for free. That's a fighter. That time to repair free can be decreased by crew skills. So ground service, repair speed, that is what reduces that time. That also affects repairing on the airfield itself. So if you say you get your engine knocked out, or you've got a coolant leak or whatever, you can actually land on an airfield in the game itself or on a carrier, but good luck with that, I've never managed it. And when you set down and land and you come to a complete standstill, you start repairing, and it takes about 21, 22 seconds off the bat, and then that speed gets increased in the same way as repairing back in the hangar. So you can repair in-game, and it's quite a useful tactic. Maybe it's your last plane, or it's a plane you particularly enjoy flying, and you really want to get it repaired. Of course, the downside is that you're on an airfield. You can very easily get shot at while you're sat there vulnerable by enemy planes. So that's something to bear in mind. But that's quite a handy skill to know about. Over here, you'll notice automatic purchasing of ammo refills after battle. I just leave that ticked on because at the end of the day, you are going to spend that money. You're just not going to risk taking a plane out into battle and you've got no ammunition. What use is that? Here, automatic repair of all airplanes after battle. I've got that unticked for now, just to get myself into a good habit really, because all the planes come with free to start off with, as I've explained, and then it can get quite expensive if you're not playing premium, if all your planes suddenly need repairing and you're starting to get into the mid tiers, so it can get quite expensive. One thing that really excited me, to go completely off topic, is in the American lineup you've actually got B-17s. Look at this, B-17E, B-17F, which only had the nose gun, and then the B-17G, which had the chin turret. So awesome, look at that. But look at the time to repair for free, 12 days. That's awesome. An average repair cost 26,280, and at the bottom it shows you what their bomb load is. I suppose you've got 9 turrets. That's so good. I can't wait to get to those. That's going to be pretty good. Okay, so that is that covered. You've got different styles of play. So you've got arcade, kind of a flight model if you like. That's quite a lot easier than the other ones. Let me just show you. If I click onto battle, I can't honestly remember how to get to that. I will come back to that. Let's move on. You've got different game modes. You have the tutorial, which I mentioned. You can take that, that's fine. You've also got missions that you can do, and this is a chance for you to basically get in with other people and play maybe on a cooperative level. You can choose any one of the missions that are running at the moment. Say I want to say Eagle Day looks quite good. Gives you a bit about it. It's hazy, 1 of 4 players. It's realistic difficulty and it's cooperation mode. What realistic difficulty means is that the flight model I was just talking about but couldn't find, that's actually set to realistic. So you're going to have to do a lot more yourself, maybe adjust the pitch of the propellers. I've never played it yet because I'm having enough fun and also stroke difficulty in the simplified mode, where it's kind of mouse and keyboard control and most of the nonsense is done for you. And then you've got simulator as well, which is I think the next level up. Again, it's not something that I've looked into a great deal, but the point is that these are missions that you can jump into, and you'll be playing with a maximum of up to 4 players there. You can set the game mode here, dynamic campaign, mission editor, single mission, so you can filter out. So let's say dynamic campaign, simplified, and it will then filter this list down, so you only got simplified games, and then you can basically choose it, and then you can join in. You also got single missions which you can play on your own if you want to. As you progress through and achieve certain items in game, you get unlocks. So Battle of the Bulge, Meek and Mild. If I want to take this on, it's telling me I've got a P-39, I follow the route along the river, and I get these rewards when I'm playing it when I get to the end. So because I'm playing simulator, I get 3000 XP and 750 lions. I've only done a couple of these. I think these rewards are substantially more when you play premium, because I seem to remember this was set to 1500 when I did it last. Arguably you can get much more than this playing just a normal battle, so I don't really know who these are aimed at. I've not tended to bother with these, but each to their own. If you like doing this, you'd rather play against AI, more power to you, no problem at all. Right, so that is that. Okay, the other thing is free XP. Now, free XP works in much the same way as with World of Tanks, but in this game it seems to be you get free XP in a ridiculously generous fashion. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I've accrued 433,656 free XP. Now, what I want to do is, say I want to skip to level 6 with the USA Air Force. All I do is I just kind of click on this slider. You'll see at the bottom that bar moving up. Let's just move it into tier 6. Okay. So what this means is it's going to cost me 144,000 free XP, and it cost me 96 eagles, which, let's face it, is nothing. And I just click on the convert button and it will jump me straight up to tier 6. So I think Gaijin might maybe nerf this slightly, because you get, I mean, I'm getting on average kind of 14-20,000 free XP a battle, which is quite a lot, even when I'm playing non-premium. I suspect they might nerf it, but then again, it fuels the whole kind of Golden Eagles economy, so why not? The downside is that planes do start getting quite expensive, because although when you buy a plane you keep the previous plane, so you'll see here, let me show you a better view. Let me show you the Germs is probably a good example. So the ones in brown are the ones that I've bought and I've had crew in previously. You can see all of those and those, a couple of those. Some of these are stacked, by the way, so these are stacked, as you can see. Now, unlike World of Tanks, you have to buy the plane before the one you want to buy. So here's a good example. I can't buy the Junkers 87 D3 at tier 5, okay? Even though I'm tier 5 in the German Air Force, as you can see, I own the B2, I don't own the R2. So technically I can fly the D3, but I have to buy the R2 first. Even if I don't want to fly it, I just want to skip it, I have to buy it. So that's the downside, and that's where World of Tanks I think is a little bit better. You can skip tanks if you want to. On the upside is that these planes don't take up garage slots or hangar slots per se. They're just there in the background. Okay, so remember, it's your crew are the ones that are taking the slots. Your crew are like your garage slots. So this means that you always have these planes. So say I have a hankering to fly the CR-42 Falco once again. I click on it and I click on put into service. It then asks me, oh, okay, well, where do you want to take the crew from? Which of these planes do you want to take the crew from? Or you can recruit a new crew. So you take your choice. I could say I'll ditch the MTC 200 Series 7 and click on put in service. You'll see that it cost me 200. I click on recruit crew, this changes. So now it's 200 Golden Eagles and 200 Silver Lions. So that's really how it works. You don't ever sell planes. You can't sell planes to get money, which I think is a bit of a shame, because there's planes kicking around here that I'll never fly again. Maybe they'll bring that in, I don't know. But so far, that's how the system works. It's pretty cool. You've got your friends list. As you can see, a few people, my regular buddies, Watlanka and Morpheus, who've come over from World of Tanks with me, and a couple of others. People you've fought together with. You've got blacklist and player search, all that good stuff. You've got the general chat window, which is quite good. The only thing is the chat system is linked to squad invites, so sometimes infrequently, I have to say, the chat system is down, which means you can't invite squad mates, which is a bit of a drag. Then you've got your event log, so this is quite nice. It's certainly not up to World of Tanks standards in terms of looking at statistics from a battle, which is a bit of a shame, but it tells you, so this is the mission that I've played most recently. I got 54,000 silver, 27,000 XP, a couple of planes were damaged, but it was a victory. Repaired a plane, some crew gone undergoing training. You can filter out what battles you've been on, economics, what achievements you've got, so unlocks and challenges I've done without even realising it. Crews undergoing training, and when I bought stuff in the store, so I've just bought a one-day Golden Eagle account, as you can see. Okay, enough of my chat, let's get into the battle, because that's probably what you want to see. So I'm going to take out, I think I'm going to take out the British, because they're cool, and I am British. So let's go. There's been a bit of a hoo-ha about the Beaufighter, about how overpowered it allegedly is. So if you look at the bottom there, it's got 4 cannon, and it's got a rear turret. Now the 4 20mm Hispano cannon are awesome, and they chop planes up. I think what people are complaining about that it's overpowered is that because they go head to head with it, you get a lot of planes going head to head with each other. It's a bit like a game of chicken. If you're good, you kill them and get out of the way and don't get rammed. If you're not good, you go head to head with the Beaufighter, and the Beaufighter is going to chop you up. So what people tend to do is go head to head with the Beaufighter and then cry when they die. Well, what do you expect? The thing is, with the Beaufighter, once you're not attacking it head on, it can't turn worth a damn. And I've shot down a lot of Beaufighters just by avoiding their front cannon and just out-turning them because they wallow around at low level, something chronic. But in a straight line, they are quick. Right, so let's click on Battle. So here I can choose from arcade, historical or real. This will change the flight model. You'll see here the hover. If I'm playing a historical battle, it's quite cool, but it says that at the bottom, last paragraph, in this mode aircraft behave realistically. For example, aircraft can get to a spin or run out of fuel and the wings can be ripped off at high speeds. Ooh. And then full real battles, that is probably the most realistic that you can get. You have to like adjust trim on propellers and things like that, and you're going to need a joystick. In fact, you have to have a joystick to play in maybe both of these modes, certainly full real battles, but again I don't know enough about it. Okay, so I'm going to click on to battle. Okay, I've actually gone with the Americans due to having a really terrible and rather short game as the British. So let's hope we do a little bit better here, otherwise it's going to be a very boring video. So here's where you can choose what planes you're going to fly first, and you can change the bomb loads, as you can see, torpedoes or bombs or whatever. Can't use the £1,000 bombs yet since this new patch came out, as I need to unlock a pylon, so I just take two £500 bombs, which are enough to kill destroyers. Fuel amount, that's set to 30 minutes. Obviously the more fuel you take, the more the longer you'll be in the air and the longer you'll stay aloft if you get a fuel leak, but it makes you a bit more heavy and wallows you around a bit more. So let's go with this trusty Catalina, which relatively good plane, slow but can carry decent bomb loads. You'll see here that I'm actually above the clouds, which is pretty good. That's my advantage because it means that it's hard for them to see me from distance anyway. So you'll see all the targets are down below, the red dots. I line a few of them up. Artillery, AAA, artillery, and over here you've got some ships, destroyer, etc. Look at the map, you'll see the flashing white arrow is myself on the top right hand corner, and you see the layout of the map is basically off the south coast of England. Unfortunately this is not the fastest plane in the world. 145 is pretty slow. I wanted to go with the bomber just to give you some idea of the mechanics of bombing. It's pretty straightforward, to be fair. So when you're on a bomber, you've got different turrets. You've got some turrets at the front, turrets at the side, and occasionally a rear turret as well, although these are effectively rear turrets, I guess. You can change view by pressing the V button. That will put you in the gunner's seat. And what's nice about this is not a specific gunner seat. When it goes yellow, it means that there's sight there. When it goes yellow, you have a shot. If it goes black, you don't have a shot because effectively you're shooting your own tail. And to a degree below the plane as well. So you haven't got to change gunner seats, which is nice. The other thing is when you press V again, you go to bomb view, and you can see the flak coming up from the ships below. Or you can go back to just normal. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start lining up my bomb here. I'm not quite there yet. I need to probably come down below the clouds. As the ships are moving, it makes them bombing them very difficult because you have to lead them. It's not always easy to know because obviously the leading the target means it changes from how fast they're going, how high you are. So bombs drop at a certain speed, it's quite hard to judge. Clouds quite low. Wow, so it's low. So what I'm going to do, there's a battleship as well, I'm going to dive bomb and destroy it. Just so I can get the bombs on target. This could end very horribly. But I know two £500 bombs can kill a destroyer, so I'm going to try and get two in one pass. Here comes the flak. The flak's nasty from ships. And two bombs away. I'll go for this one in the back. Come on, turn around. You can see the bomb marker there. And two bombs away. Oh, I've been shot down. Awesome. But you'll see there that I destroyed the ship just as I went down. Got 1100 XP. Okay, so that's my bombing days. You've got a fighter bomber there, but I'll come back to that. Let's get into let's say P40. That's a nice fighter. Let's get stuck in now. So there's actually a bug been introduced in this latest patch, which came out yesterday, which actually shows planes smoking right from the get-go. It is a bug. There's nothing wrong with the plane, but I don't know if just me Is it just me who can see that, or is it others as well? So there's a Beaufort down there harassing our ships. Now the idea of this game is to basically kill the opponent's ground units before they kill yours. In the bottom left hand corner, you see that he turned pink, which means that he's basically dying. He's been shot down but hasn't quite crashed yet. Right, in the bottom left hand corner there's a count of the various different ground units. So ours, we have 48 to kill, we have to protect 47, so the two numbers there. So it's reasonably clear. The ships count as ground units, and some of the ships can be quite hard to kill if you haven't got decent sized bombs. It takes 2 £500 bombs to kill a destroyer, from what I can see. So I want to start catching up on this US plane, gaining them slowly. Just to give our friends there a hand. Always check the radar. And as you notice that there's a lead marker there, so you should aim at that. There you go. So that noise means that he suffered a critical hit. This guy's in trouble. He's turned pink, so he's going down. Okay, that's reasonably good. So next, slowly behind me. Let's go for Moran Gully. Good name. What I love about this map is the graphics actually. It's just so pretty. And they're functional, but they work. Look at that. It's just damn pretty maps. And what's nice about the maps is the maps aren't fixed. You can have different weather effects and stuff on the maps. Well, I have a bit of a bug on this game is that the lead marker should appear about 700 metres, but it doesn't. Or it did, and every now and again it just stops and starts appearing at about 400 metres, which is problematic because it means that you can't start leading them early. Well, you can, but you just have to guess. You can see it's not appeared yet, now it appears. So it's a head on. Get this I-15. I-15 I think is a low-tier reserve aircraft. Try to beat him. There's lead mark. A bit late. So he's on the tail of my friend there, so I'm going to try and... The thing with biplanes is that they can very easily outturn you at low levels. That's one of the advantages. We've got to turn the side here. Let's change one turn. Let's shoot one down in a minute. There we go. So get a couple of... let's go after this guy. Getting shot at definitely, I think. No. Shoot him. That's his chap. Nice. Tail control was damaged. Okay. £100 bombs just come back as a fighter. I think if F4 is a Corsair. So shot down a couple of planes. Doing okay. So you'll see in terms of ground targets, it's approximately equal. On the score here, you see that planes at the bomb next to them indicate that they're bombers, funnily enough. So it gives you some idea of what proportion of the enemy's planes in the air are bombers or not. Wow, it's been busy with it, isn't it? Critical hit. Suffers damage in tail. That's good. Oh, he's got a shot now. Cool. Right, let's pick another one. CR42. Be a little bit careful not to hit. Oh, it's a hit focus. Another one. Wow. That was lucky. Almost crashes to the ground. That wasn't very good. Is that two? It's got just 6. It's a hurricane. I think there's the same on my shot now. Don't depict him. Heinkel 112's got cannon, some quite decent cannon. Well, so it's been right. Cannon make all the difference in this game. If you've got a cannon, you shoot down stuff a lot more easily than if you just got machine guns. Creeping up the scoreboard, that's good. So, still leading, but not by much. I'm wondering if I should actually start going for these ground targets. Pillbox is very hard to kill once you've got bombs. Yeah, I'll start going for ground targets now. Try to stay out of the fight. Quite a gloomy day, isn't it? It's about right for England. Trouble is, if I go high, it's not going to attract attention as I dive down. Pillbox, pillbox. Right, let's throw this thing into a dive. There's one. Next target. There's 2. That's close. There's targets. And he rammed me. Or we rammed each other. Both crash at the same time into each other. It's one of those things. Alright, back in my final plane, the A-20, which is a fighter bomber. Not a bad plane. I'm quite enjoying playing this. It's got nose armament, so you can actually fire at targets directly. And poor chap freezes his nuts off down there, and a guy in a turret, so all good. So I'm going to start going after their ground targets once again. I do have bombs on this, so I'm going to use those as well. £500 bombs, so they're not to be sniffed at. Take out a ship with these. That's what I do that. Maybe start taking down these ships. I don't know. Is he going for me? Right. You, sir. 4 bombs, 2 for you, and then 2 for your compadre in the north.
Just keep it up, and victory will be ours.
It's gone. It's gone. Winged the first one. That's a waste. Right, bombs up, top left hand corner in 1 minute and 10 seconds, so let's shoot some other stuff. Seems to be on me. This is a hurricane again. Right, let's try and look in the sky before we do anything else. Got a cat in my nose. Get this marker not appearing where it should. Bombs up in 20 seconds, that's good timing. It's not yet open. 6 seconds down. That would be really good. Somewhat. But I want to switch the... There we go. So I've switched the tail gunner view, or the top turret view, so I'm outrunning him now. Right. Approaching the airfield, I don't really want to tangle the flak over there.
Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
AI guns do all the bombs and targets. There's a way there. 2 targets coming up here. There you go. It's destroyed. That one, and that one. Right, now I'm going to switch to my rear guns. Let's knock this guy down. So AI guns do a good job of it. Looks like I've been helped out by Wyraf. I want to thank him. So, I've got an engine out. Now, I've got 1 engine left, which means that I can now land on my airfield to repair. If I get that far, which I don't really think I am, to be fair. I'm going to get knocked out of the sky. Let's give it a go. See what I can pick up on the way. Medium tanks and heavy tanks can't be destroyed by just cannon fire, I don't think. Light tanks can, armoured cars, mobile AAA. So sometimes they're quite hard times to kill. Bombs up in 15 seconds is not going to be quick enough for me. Just try and... So I'm getting points for hit. But yeah, just 8 seconds more I could have bombed it. Never mind. Anything on me? No. Okay. Yes, he bombs up now. That's not good. Now my airfield is in the near distance. If I zoom in, let's see. Yeah, just there, right hand side, right on my tail.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
I'm going slow enough that I don't need to speed off or anything. Just get my gear down and land. Get rid of my bombs though. So I'm going to be refueled when we aren't anyway. There we go. Right. Just going to jump these. Okay. Right. Get down. Flaps. Landing. Bottom left hand corner shows the flaps. Roll back. Engine off completely. Don't hit the ground too hard. No, that's not very good at all. Oh, crap. That's exactly what I didn't want to do. Now, that's embarrassing. So will it still repair when I come to a halt? Let's have a look. That was rubbish. Do I get... Oh yeah, that's being repaired. And I get points for landing an aircraft with a dead engine. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call that landing really. Now, again in the patch, what happened was they brought this thing. Press J to leave your aircraft. Then it auto ejects you after 30 seconds. Now, I don't know if it's going to do that here because repairing a bomber generally takes much longer than repairing a fighter, so I don't know what it's going to do. It's going to happen any minute if it's going to do it at all. Please pretend you never saw that landing. Good job I got rid of my bombs for exactly that reason. If I had my bombs, I think I would have died. Yeah, okay. Another thing this patch has brought in is when you repair like this, normally it would just repair you from the spot you're in, then you take off again. But what this does now, you'll see in 2 seconds, it will just reset you either in the air, in the case of one of the other maps I was in, or at one end of the airfield like this, where you can just take off again. I don't know why the developers did that, there's not really any need. So anyway, body up speed, it's quite easy to take off in this game. Nose up. Gear up. And get 160 points XP for taking off. Yay. And flaps raised. Okay. Now the idea with War Thunder, Gaijin have said, is that they intend to make it so it's not just planes, it's ships and tanks, all driven by human beings, which I think is really cool. It's what Wargaming intended to do, and I think this one, War Thunder, actually is in the lead from what I've seen. It's really quite cool. You even see these, the tanks and ships, they fight each other. It's quite smart. Right, let's get these two. So what's this? Medium tank? Well, you'll go down for a start. Don't have to lead it very much at all. You don't want to be... No. There we go. Lovely job. So we've got 8 targets left. I know one's behind me. Let's get these guys here. There's 2 that I can take down.
The enemy has been defeated.
Oh, we won. So I think what happened there is the other way of winning, other than wiping out the ground units, is to kill all of the enemy's planes, and that is so they haven't got any more planes left. So you can see, I'll go through this very quickly. So you've got here the amount of times people died, the amount of ground targets they killed, the amount of planes they shot down, and the amount of XP that they've accrued. Now this figure here, a bit like World of Tanks, isn't your final figure. We'll see that in a second, but considering I didn't start brilliantly, I've actually acquitted myself fairly well there, so coming third's alright. And on the other team, yeah, good little run there. Scores approximately equal. And I don't think that we get a bonus for actually winning the game. I don't think it makes a difference. Although there is some argument about mission reward as to whether that is it or not. I've not had a straight answer yet, so nobody seems to know. But anyway, so as well as the XP I got flat out from the previous screen, you also get XP here as well, and it gets broken down. And if you hover, you can see what you did in what planes. So your P-40 Kitty Hawk shot down 2. You're in the air for 4 minutes 29. You got 2420 silver and 715 XP of this amount. And then the same, service units destroyed. You see how many each plane did, critical hits, hits in general, how many assists you got. So obviously when you shot a plane, didn't kill it and someone else did. 80 XP for takeoff, yay. The longer you're in a battle for, you get points for. So it breaks down there how long each plane was in a battle. You can see my F2A Buffalo was in it for a staggering 19, was that 19? Oh, I see, from 19 seconds to 1 minute and 8 seconds. Right, okay. Yeah, not a very long time. And you'll see at the bottom, the premium bonus. You get a bonus of 11,024 silver, you get a total of 33. And here you get 14,654 XP bonus. And I got 30,000 XP in total, which is not bad. So that's jumped me up significantly for the USA Air Force towards rank 6. And I'm moving on ever more to level 8, which doesn't really mean a lot. I guess you get more unlocks and stuff for that. Over here, destroy the most air targets, deliver the final blow. I don't actually think I did. Oh well. And you get a new decal, the Balkan Kreuz, which I think is actually quite cool. Let's have a quick look at that. Let's look at battles. Is it achievements? There you go. Yeah, that's nice. So that's going to be worth putting on some German planes. Yeah. Now you notice that these planes are now redded out. This one got shot down, if you recall, after bombing a couple of destroyers, and now it's got 33 minutes time to repair, as you can see, and the P-40 5 hours and 49 minutes to repair, or I can repair it for 3,600, so I click that and just click the button there. Now you notice these crew markers. What they mean is that you've got points to distribute to your crew, because you did cool stuff in the plane. So you click on the button and you've got 9 points to distribute. I'm not going to go through every one of these. You can hover over them yourself, so you can see here it will cost me 2 points to increase this level by 1. So that goes down to 7, and I've increased it to 1. That sort of thing. If the plane had gunners, then I would use this, but it doesn't. It tells you at the top, number of gunners none. Ground service, I can increase all those other items there which I went through earlier. So what's nice, what I quite like about this, is if the plane is damaged and in the process of being repaired, it's full of bullet holes and stuff, and you can see like holes in the wing, and on the Catalina, for instance, you've got look at that, bullet holes. That's awesome. I love it. So that's pretty much it. So I've explained the game and taken you through a battle, which I did actually reasonably well. So I hope that's given you a good overview about what War Thunder is all about. It's not World of Tanks. I've not given up on World of Tanks completely. Just taking a break. I've still got a fair amount of gold that I need to spend in World of Tanks. And I feel that the difference between two games is quite marked. You can make more of a difference in World of Tanks as a good player than you can in War Thunder, I think, anyway. Because World of Tanks is very much more of a team game, and it makes a lot of difference if one of you is utterly useless, or two of you. In this game it's a little bit more forgiving, and also because there's not so much impetus to win, it doesn't really matter so much. And the other thing, of course, is that the game is so fast moving, you don't have time to look at and take notice of what other potential idiots are doing. So as a result, it's a lot more forgiving. Everyone's far too busy trying to keep their plane in the air and not getting shot down to criticise other people. So very little criticism goes on, there's very little rage. The only thing that really people complain about is ramming in this game, but when you're going head to head and you shoot out a control service or something, the opponent coming towards you, and then you both go the same way maybe, or he doesn't move or you don't move, it's going to happen, and it's just one of those things. So it's a lot less of a ragey game, and as a result I think you actually have more fun with it. So yeah, they've not announced when it's coming out of open beta. It's only just gone into global open beta, as opposed to I think it was a fixed open beta through to a certain amount of countries. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what more tweaks they're going to do to it, because certainly it's definitely got the beginnings and middle of a really, really good game. Beats the hell out of World of Warplanes, I have to say. That this is fun. World of Warplanes just really wasn't. So yeah, good stuff. Anyway, I hope that's been of use to you. I hope I've pointed out a little few of the interface foibles that you might have missed. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you actually. You can change the server that you want to play on. You can play on the Russian server or any available if you want to. Sometimes the EU one's a little bit quiet in the morning, so switch to RU or just click on any available, and that will make it a lot easier for you. So yeah, that's cool. And very quickly, if you want to invite your friends to a squad, you get your friends up here, you click on one of them, and then you click on invite to squad, and then it all works pretty well. If you're not premium, 2 of you can be in a squad. If you are premium, it's 4, but I don't think that's actually working. I mean, we've had 3 or 4 in a squad and we weren't premium, but don't tell Gaijin anyway. So that's that. I hope that's been of use. If there are any questions, by all means stick them in the comments or send me a message on the forums or on YouTube, and I'll be happy to try and help if I can. And that's that for me for today. So this is Bug Powder Dust. Fly safe. Cheers.